A train derailment in Ohio, the third since October, raises questions about the safety of transporting hazardous materials via rail. Let's take a closer look in this NASP special report. On February 3rd, the town of East Palestine, Ohio, was issued an immediate evacuation order after 50 rail cars derailed, 5 of which were carrying vinyl chloride. Though the Norfolk Southern train in Ohio burst into 100-foot flames upon derailing, and was transporting materials that triggered a fireball when they were released and incinerated, it was not being regulated as a high-hazard flammable train. But more on that later. Documents show that when current transportation safety rules were first created, a federal agency sided with industry lobbyists and limited regulations governing the transport of hazardous compounds. The decision effectively exempted many trains hauling dangerous materials, including the one involved in the latest derailment. So how did we get here? Let's take it back a few years. The sequence of events began a decade ago in the wake of a major uptick in derailments of trains carrying crude oil and hazardous chemicals, including a New Jersey train crash that leaked the same toxic chemical as in Ohio. In response, the Obama administration, circa 2014, proposed improving safety regulations for trains carrying petroleum and other hazardous materials. However, after industry pressure, the final measure narrowly focused on transporting crude oil and exempting trains carrying many other combustible materials. Then came 2017. The Trump administration, backed by rail lobbyists who delivered more than $6 million to GOP campaigns, rescinded part of that rule aimed at making better braking systems widespread on the nation's rails. Specifically, regulators killed provisions requiring rail cars carrying hazardous, flammable materials to be equipped with electronic braking systems to stop trains more quickly than conventional air brakes. Norfolk Southern had previously touted the new technology, known as electronically controlled pneumatic or ECP brakes, for its potential to reduce train stopping distances by as much as 60% over conventional air brake systems. But the company's lobby group nonetheless pressed for the rule's repeal, telling regulators that it would impose tremendous costs without providing offsetting safety benefits. Needless to say, that argument won out with officials. Alongside their campaign to kill the brake rule, industry lobbyists pushed to limit the types of chemical compounds covered by new regulations. They proposed limiting the definition of high-hazard flammable trains, or HHFT, mostly to cover oil trains, but not trains carrying the industrial chemical on the Norfolk Southern train that necessitated evacuations in Ohio. By contrast, the National Transportation Safety Board, the federal agency tasked with investigating transportation accidents, argued for a broader definition of high-hazard flammable trains. The NTSB explicitly called for the rules to cover Class II flammable gases, a category that includes vinyl chloride, the chemical transported by the Ohio train that derailed. As the industry has resisted safety measures and shed staff, rail companies have increased the length of trains. Norfolk Southern was the leader in this category as of 2021, with an average train length of over 7,000 feet, which is 1.3 miles or more than 100 rail cars. The Norfolk Southern train that derailed in Ohio was 9,300 feet long, or nearly 1.8 miles. Concerns about train length and public safety prompted federal funding for a study on the issue in the 2021 infrastructure bill. On Tuesday, residents of East Palestine filed suit against Norfolk Southern in a U.S. district court, alleging negligence. Norfolk Southern did not answer questions about its efforts to weaken safety mandates. The company also did not answer questions about what kind of braking system was operating on the train that derailed in Ohio. A spokesperson for one advocacy group pressing for tougher safety regulations said the Ohio disaster is the latest consequence of the rail industry's cost-cutting, profit-at-all-cost business model. What are your thoughts on the train derailment? Could this have been prevented? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on the latest safety and environmental news, tips, and tricks.